Hi, and welcome to Blue's Garden. Is this the end of the garden for the season? It's October, first week of October, and the garden is not looking great. It looks like quite a lot is dying. I see a lot of dead tomatoes. I see some peppers that are dying off. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to harvest what looks ripe, or at least at the blushing stage. I'm gonna anything that's dead. If there's dead tomatoes, dead tomato plants, but green, I'm gonna harvest that stuff anyway. Um, Anything that looks close and I can get a few more days, I might leave them out there and see how they do on the vine. It definitely looks like it's going to get cold towards the end of the week. We might even have a frost advisory. We'll know by this time next week if that's true. Let's take a look. I'm going to head outside and take care of some gardening. I have a 25-gallon grow bag of Yukon Gold. I'm going to harvest those. It's one grow bag. I'm going to get out there and harvest that. Let's take a look. This is one of two 25-gallon grow bags of Yukon Gold. I've already harvested one 25-gallon grow bag of Adirondack Red and one of Adirondack Blue. I also have a dark red Norland, and then I replanted some of each. So I've got one Yukon Gold, 1, 2, 3 more grow bags to go. See, digging through, you can see I'm starting to find some of the Yukon Gold. I noticed that on my dark red Norland and my Adirondack Red and Blue, I got a little better return per seed potato. And it might be that these guys were a little too shaded out, or I'm not positive. But I did notice a little slightly less return. Interesting thing, I noticed when I was going through this, there's a lot of sand in here. And I don't normally have sand in my grow bags. And I'm wondering if this is one of the grow bags I had from, I can't remember what I did grow in here that had sand. I made a mix-up that had some sand. So I wonder if that had something to do with affecting the less organics in there. I wonder if that really affected the output. Harvested some beets. We had 4 or 5 beets that I did as roasted beets as one of the side dishes. So I just went out to my grow bags and grabbed some beets. Here's the potato and the grow bags for the dinner that night. Little walking through, these are Brandywine yellow tomato. A couple of the eggplant, long purple eggplant. One of my butternut squash. A couple of the baby boo pumpkin. A golden yellow bell pepper. And here's one of the daily harvests. I am processing some tomato. I've been harvesting a bunch and just running them through the food processor. I will not get time for another week or probably 3 to get to making some pasta sauce, or salsa. So I'm just going to process the tomato now while I have them picked, and then freeze that, and then come end of October or somewhere in November, I'll make a few big batches of pasta sauce. As I mentioned, processing harvests the tomato, I cannot get to cooking. I didn't have enough time to get to some cooking. So what I do is I chop up whatever tomato that looks like it's at full ripe or just going bad, right before it gets to that stage, and process that in the food processor and freeze that sort of ground down stuff, because come end of October or early November, I will do just a few big gallon pots and make a lot of pasta sauce, salsa and pasta sauce. I've got a few dozen of these. And raspberries. This was a couple of bowls worth picking. I am sorting through the really mushy stuff. Anything that's really mushy, without being rotted or moldy, I will freeze. I will, again, do the canning later in the season. Live in Cape Cod is here in Truro, right around the corner from us, is a place called... One of the neat things about living here on Cape Cod in Truro is a place called Truro Vineyards, which is also the home of South Hollow Distillery. And we went over, usually I do a flight of the spirits. They've got some nice rums, a couple of gin. They've got 4 or 5 different bourbons or whiskeys. But today we just went over and did some flights, some wine tastings. Truro Vineyards, right around the corner from me. They have a decent bunch of different wines. I really enjoy going over there. There's also South Hollow Distillery. They make a bunch of spirits, gin, dry line gin is my favorite, but they make some bourbons. Truro is the home of the place where the original pilgrims came ashore. They spent their first winter offshore of Truro. Here is this stuff with this blue, our new batch of vines that they recently planted. Probably 5 to 7 years before those are decent. This is the third batch that they had planted. Really nice grapes. Makes a nice wine. They have a nice Cabernet. They also have one called Triumph, which is decent. I really like their cab, though. And back in the garden after a few glasses of wine. This is actually the next day. But picking a bunch of different peppers and lemon Aiji pepper, a bunch of different cherry tomato. The left side, as you're looking, is the peppers. The right side are the cherry tomato. Eggplant is right in front, and I'm not going to grab those today. I've got 3 or 4 left, and they will have to wait. Other side, picking some more of the cherry tomato from the outside. A couple of the Rio Grande Brandywine Yellow. This is a giant pineapple tomato. First time growing it. I also got a couple of small ones. Here are those 2 Baby Boo pumpkins. I will cut those. There's a bunch more on the vine that I'll use for my fall decor centerpiece. A Cherokee Purple. Just taking a look at the red pear. Probably won't do that one again. These will eventually be some white cherry tomato. Same white cherry tomato. There's some yellow pear tomato. Sorry, I have a bunch of raspberries. They've been neglected for a week or so. I had some stuff I had to do out of town, and there's a lot of dead or nasty, mushy looking raspberries out there. But there's also a bunch that do need to be harvested. So I'm going to get out there and harvest some raspberries, see what we can get. Raspberries. So what I typically do every other day when I'm in the zone is I grab a bowl of raspberries fresh, and whatever's left over from yesterday, as whatever mushy raspberries I have, I will sort into the freezer. So leftover stuff and mushy goes into the freezer, and then I have a fresh bowl for a day or so. Quite a month. Well, quite a start to the month, I should say. I recorded this mostly the first week in October, and um, outside, I was out there this morning. There is a lot of work to do. I've got quite a lot of stuff to cut and put in the compost pile. As I suspected, these really cold nights have pretty much ended a lot of the production on certainly the tomatoes. There are definitely some still going strong, but a lot of the cherry tomatoes are at their raggedy edge. Almost all of my roamers are done, but you'll see that next week. I want to thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. It really helps me. It helps this channel grow. It helps me grow. If you would click like and share this video if you can, and subscribe. That helps me grow, and that helps you grow. Thank you very much.